y'all. It is Monday, December 14th. It is your allies behind enemy lines, Ryan and Joey, and you know what it is today. It is Victory Monday. We're playing that victory trombone. 4 straight victories. Count them, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 straight victories for this Washington football team. Absolutely wrecking it right now, finding every possible way to win it. Before we get into it, as always, make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube. Ring that notification bell. If you're on Apple iTunes, make sure you're subscribed. Like, rate, review, all that good stuff. Make sure you tell a friend, tell a family member, send them on over our way so they can get all the latest and greatest up-to-date news on the Washington football team. Joey, the air is so crisp today. That coffee tasted just a little bit sweeter. The birds are swinging that sweet, sweet song, and it is a Victory Monday for the 4th straight week. I say that. It's actually only the second Victory Monday because we've had a Victory Friday and a Victory Tuesday. Only the second Victory Monday. But you know what? It doesn't matter. I'll take them all. Whatever day. Give me Victory Thursday. Give me. I don't care. As long as we keep rolling. Joey, how was your weekend? How are things going, bub?
Things are going pretty well, man. Things are going pretty well. As I said last on our preview show, this is our last, as far as work goes, this is our last week before winter break. So we, see some light at the end of the tunnel there. But to make it so much sweeter, like you said, to be able to come in Monday morning with that, just that extra spring in your step and just that extra smile, just the extra, line in your smile, just to know that your Washington football team is in first place by themselves. And after everything we've been through this year, after the ups and downs of the quarterback, the injuries, the coaching situation, the coaching, getting cancer, what a ride to be sitting here right now in a position that we're in. I couldn't say anything. I couldn't feel any better, to tell you the truth.
Absolutely. If I was going into an office, I know my chest would be puffed out a little bit more, my head, shoulders back a little bit high, walking in with a lot of confidence. Yep, giving them the $1 million strut. But yeah, I mean, it's been a wild ride, like you said. It's been crazy. From we go all the way back to what was it, March, April, the Darius Guy situation. Like you said, the whole front office turmoil and all the stuff that was going on there. And then slowly but surely, the tides start turning our way. We hire Jason Wright. We bring in, obviously before that with Ron Rivera, bringing over his whole crew, and it looks like things are finally starting to tilt our way. Because I'll tell you what. Games like yesterday, the Washington Redskins don't win those games. The Washington football won it, but I'll tell you what, the Washington Redskins usually don't win games like that. As soon as you could see from the jump, something wasn't right with Alex Smith. I mean, he was so inaccurate that it was like, what's going on here? That's for a guy that's regarded as a great accurate passer, short to intermediate routes. He's usually on time. He's on point, and he was just missing throws. I mean, just could not hit. He couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. It was unreal. It was wild to see. We were already worried coming in without Antonio Gibson. We'll get to that soon. But J.D. McKissick and Peyton Barber held up their end of the bargain, no problem. But you could see that first half, something wasn't quite right with Alex Smith. He was just way off. He missed a couple big throws. Now, I will say, Steven Sims, the drops continue to kill us over and over and over again. He had a couple drops. We had a deep ball where Robert Foster just absolutely smokes Richard Sherman, and then for whatever reason slows up on his route, and it becomes an overthrow, when that was probably one of Alex Smith's best throws of the first half, up to that point. And that would have been 6 for sure. And then, of course, Richard Sherman does his deal of standing up and waving his arms like he had anything to do with that incomplete pass, even though he was getting torched and chasing dudes he was chasing guys all around the field because they were just running right by him. But I'll tell you what, man, the defense rallied together. That defense held strong. The San Francisco 49ers were able to run the ball a little bit better than I was expecting. But that young defense, that tenacious defense, man, they showed up. They put their nuts on the table and said, look, it's us versus you, and it's going to be us. It ain't going to be you. That's for sure. And I just loved it because, like I said, the Washington Redskins, they don't win those games. Washington football team, different story this year, baby.
Different story this year, and I'm glad you ended on that note as well, because they did say something on this morning. I'm gonna go ahead and quote that from the Good Morning Football show. And that is, there is 3 scary forces in the NFL right now, and that's Patrick Mahomes and that explosive offense with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. There's Aaron Rodgers with Devontae Adams, and there's that Washington defensive line. And those are 3 things that you do not want to encounter right now because they are just eating through the NFL like Pac-Man. And yesterday, I think you sent me the message that said it's more fun to watch the defense on the field than it is the offense. And that second half, I mean, it pretty much became that way, where it would just became a game of our defense versus their offense. I mean, you rarely, I don't know, you probably get a play count. We maybe had, 12 plays, including the kneel downs in the entire second half. I mean, it was other than that first drive, it was 3 and outs, and it was our defense really spent some time on the field, and it was basically, that's what it was. It's like, let's just play a scrimmage against our defense against your offense and see if you guys can score on us, and that's kind of how it turned out. But that defensive line was all over the place. I mean, they are getting better. It's scary to say, but they're getting better. It's not they're playing at their potential. No, they're playing at what we expect them to play at now. They're continuing to get better and more dominant and aggressive. I mean, that's a good offensive line for San Francisco. That was not, they played against chumps. Those are people that, they've been running the ball over everybody. They did it last year, the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl season. And they definitely, done that up to this point on a lot of teams. But, we did a great job of adjusting. They were really getting that edge early on, and that was really hurting us, and I think it was a great strategy by, what's his name? Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator for, San Francisco, and they used our speed against us in the beginning. If you were watching, it wasn't like they were getting around the edge. They were waiting for that speed rusher to get by, and they're undercutting right below him, having like a mini edge, and they were just hitting that same every time. And it seems like the second half they did adjust, and they started dropping those ends back a little bit on suspected running plays, and it totally forced them in the middle right into where we wanted them to be. So it was a great adjustment on both sides of the ball. It was great. It was great coaching on both sides of the ball. Offense and defense. It was a struggling game, and like you said, that's games that we usually lose. I mean, we see two big. I saw a couple key plays there. That being the drop. Like you said, the Cam Sims dropped on the third down. That would have kept the drive going. Probably got more points on the board for us. Or Stevens. I want to say Cam. Cam's the man. Steven Sims is dropping like it's hot, and that was one of the big plays right there. Ooh, I was like, oh, great, here we go. Things could turn around right here. Then our defense, gets back on the field and holds up strong. And then we get the third down roughing the passer penalty by Montez Sweat. Totally unneeded. Again, let him back in that time. And that one cost. That one allowed them to get the ball down the field, make the touchdown, and get the 2 points. And we made it a game again. Then, and all of us as Washington fans say, oh, boy, here we go again. And then we have punts that land on the 1-inch line, have the best special teams play you'll probably ever see. And, here we go again. And to give credit to Dwayne Haskins, though, he stood strong in there and almost got that first down on the most crucial third down, or at least getting some room for Tress Way. And I'm glad I mentioned that name, because that guy was probably our MVP. Our defense and Tress Way won us that game right there, because he was punting his ass off. You could tell as they gradually got a little bit shorter, though, as we kept, as it got quicker and quicker between punts. He didn't have time to, rest his leg up or whatever, probably tighten up over there. But it was just, it was a great defensive effort, a great team effort. And you said it before when we're usually talking about other teams, but good teams find a way to win. And we are playing like that good team that finds a way to win right now. And, question mark with Alex Smith. And as you brought that up, and I'm rambling on here a little bit longer than I wanted to, but, I noticed it was one of those first plays, I think when we're before the second field goal, when he went to go when it looked like he went to go run forward, and then he just fell down. And if you watch the replay, it's like his foot, and I want to say that I think we've talked about it before. I don't know if he lost control of his foot or something. It's like drop foot or something. Like, it looked like his foot just dangled and gave out on him, before he went on there. So that's I'm trying to think if that's what's going on there. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens this next week and who we're going to have at quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a big deal going into the week with Seattle. Luckily, that defense isn't what it usually is, but yeah, getting back to this game, yeah, you could definitely right after that play, I know exactly which one you're talking about. He went to run up the middle, and he looked like he had a wide open hole for at least 3-4 yards. I think he only got 1 or 2 because he just fell. Looked like he lost his footing, something, and then as soon as that happens, he's over on the sidelines getting that calf worked on. And they originally said it was just a little muscle tightness, a little muscle soreness. So you're like, okay, work it out, stretch it out a little bit, get that guy some pickle juice if he's cramping up, and he'll be back in here. And then sure enough, second half comes, and he's over there pacing on the sidelines, trying to listen to what the play calls are in his helmet, and it's Dwayne Haskins out there. And Dwayne Haskins, he did enough. He didn't do too much. He didn't do enough. Or excuse me, yeah, he didn't not do enough, but he did do enough to just keep us on pace and keep us out of trouble. He didn't have any turnovers. Alex Smith has the 1 turnover. It was kind of funny when he threw it. He left it short. I don't remember who the corner was exactly, but he went up to try to deflect it. and you could hear, because there's obviously no crowd, the mics picked up him say, the corner said, "Get that shit," and then the corner that actually ended up picking it, he said, "Oh yeah, boy," which was just kind of funny that they were right there. But he did get that interception, trying to force it to Terry McLaurin. Which if he leaves it a little longer, I think Terry goes and runs underneath it. But Dwayne Haskins, he did enough. Now I will say, going into a full game, I don't know if what I saw yesterday instills the most confidence in me in having Dwayne Haskins back out there. Like I said, that Seattle defense isn't what it used to be. It's not very good right now. But if Dwayne Haskins is in there and we have to rely on our running game, then that's, what we've talked about numerous times. Once we become one-dimensional, we're very, very easy to beat. And if we're having quick 3-and-outs against that Seattle defense, if we're having, short drives, as good as that defense is, they're going to wear out. They're going to tire out. And I think we saw a little bit of that there at the end of the game. There was one play in particular. I don't remember what time it was in the game. It was late in the fourth quarter, but Raheem Mostert took the ball and he turned the corner on Chase Young. And, we'll get to Chase Young and his spectacular plays, but Chase just wasn't able to get there because they had been on the field so much in that fourth quarter that he turned the corner on him and ended up getting a first down. Ended up not meaning too much in the grand scheme of things. But, so that's the one worry when it comes to Dwayne Haskins being out there versus Alex Smith this week. We'll see if Antonio Gibson is right this week after the toe injury. But getting back to the play on the field, obviously we got to talk about Chase Young. I mean, I think if this would have been a national broadcast game, everybody, the NFL Network, ESPN, CBS, Fox Sports, everybody would have been talking about what an absolute maniac Chase Young is. He is everywhere. Obviously, the scoop and score on the fumble. I'd like to see him protect that ball a little bit. He was running with it a little crazy, just holding it like a quarterback getting ready to throw the ball. Like he wasn't tucked or anything. He just running with it. He said he looked like a madman earlier, or Kyle Brandt said he was running like a human maniac.
A human maniac, and it was just the perfect description if you're just looking at it. It's just his hair flailing, his arms flailing, like you said, holding the ball like a freaking hot potato or something, just like running down the field. Like it looked like he was chasing somebody who was gonna chuck it at. That's how he was holding it. It was like, I'm gonna get somebody with this football, but it was funny.
I mean, he was Johnny on the spot, right place, right time. He scoops it up in stride and just takes it to the house. Now, that wasn't even my favorite play that Chase Young made. My favorite play that Chase Young made yesterday, it was a great play call by San Francisco. Like you said, they set up a little stutter, so Chase Young blows right by the running back, and they set up this little shovel pass. And Nick Mullins plays it perfect. Chase Young comes off the edge unblocked. I don't even think he gets chipped by the running back. He might have a little chip by the running back. I think it was Jeff Wilson at the time. And so it caused him to go a little bit wider outside than he wanted to because of the chip. And Jeff Wilson's there for the shovel pass. And if he catches it, he's probably taking at least 10 or 15 yards. But as Nick Mullins, dishes it out to him, Chase Young just stretches those long-ass arms and deflects the ball, and it falls to the ground for nothing. And that was my favorite play because it was a perfect play call by by San Francisco. Kyle Shanahan saw it. He's like, look, these guys are blowing off our edges. They're getting to the quarterback, no problem. We'll set up a little stutter and let them get by our guys, and then boom, we got the shovel pass there. It was perfect coaching. But guess what? Sometimes playmakers are better than a great play call. And that's what Chase Young was there. He's just an absolute game disruptor. That's the best way I can put it. He just disrupts whatever game plan you have, whatever you want to do. He will just disrupt it. Maybe not every play, maybe not every snap, but sooner or later, he's going to get the best of you where it just absolutely unravels for you, and he throws a whole wrench and everything. And that was it's tough to say that this is Chase Young's coming out party because he's been on everybody's radar all year. But man, did he make some absolute plays. And he was awesome. Just spectacular. I can't even put into words of how great he played.
It was like you said, it was so fun. It was so exciting to watch. I mean, that you mentioned that play right there, which was an awesome play. I mean, the one where he dropped back into a little zone for a second and then just charged and then just charged the quarterback and made a sack. I mean, like you said, it's chased after the guy, the athleticism, the way he's all over the field. And then when he came around the edge and stripped the ball from behind, we got that fumble that he stripped. I think they said it was the best. The only time they've ever had a strip fumble return for a touchdown, and a sack by a rookie since 1982. So it's been a long time, of a player to have that type of game. We're even talking, Nick Bosa last year that was doing crazy things, but Chase Young's right there with him on how he's dominating on the field and what the difference he makes. And not to mention that this team is playing like a unit right now. I mean, Montez Sweat still having his, had the one mistake yesterday on the penalty, obviously, but still, all over the quarterback, still disrupting plays, still, they're still all getting their hands up, swatting balls. I can't even understand, I can't even count how many times we're swatting those balls on them big plays, throughout the game that really, on third downs, on, fourth downs. And Jeff Bostic played great yesterday. Kevin Pierre-Louis, linebacker, played great yesterday. It was just defensive. Cameron Curl, how we haven't got to him yet. I mean, it was time. I didn't realize how big he was. I mean, that guy's Sean Taylor size. That guy's 6'2". That guy's 6'2", 220. He's a big boy out there. And not to mention smart. And, and playing, what a steal. What a steal in the 7th round. We got, again, Jeremy Reeves came out and we did not miss a beat when Quentin Dunbar when the Shazer Everett went down. And again, like I said, we have a pair of young safeties. I think I saw Stat Pro Football Focus 11th and 12th safeties in the league right now. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy. And again, like we said, this defense is something special to watch, and I think they can win games. As long as our offense doesn't lose them for us, this defense, they put up 2 touchdowns yesterday. I mean, it was a great day, a great team win, and a great, another great step in the development of this culture and this team.
Absolutely. Yeah, I wanted to get to that secondary because we always kind of harp on them, but yesterday it really showed me something. Between the 2 safeties you mentioned, Cameron Curl, just absolute monster. Like you said, I mean, he's all over the place. He's a ball hawk. He'll also lay the wood on you, no problem. We've seen that time and time again. Jeremy Reeves, he's kind of the speedster that'll lay out and knock a ball down. But the biggest improvement over the last couple of weeks, I think, is Ronald Darby. Ronald Darby's been really solid there for us as the number 2 corner. We saw Kendall Fuller. We always knew he had it. Kendall Fuller with that big pass breakup on Jordan Reed that would have been a first down and continue the drive. It ends up being 4th down. So this secondary has really come into form the last couple weeks, really, really big time. And like I said, we were harping on them, and I think rightfully so. I think they would understand that too. They weren't playing as well as they could have, and they weren't holding up their end of the deal that the front 7 was setting up for them. But I think this game really, really showed. Now, granted, I know it's Nick Mullins. I know Deebo Samuel goes out early. Brandon Ayuk had a pretty decent game. He has 10 catches for 119 yards. But outside of that, I mean, Kendrick Bourne, 3 catches, 42 yards. Like, we really held this passing game to a minimum. 260 yards from Nick Mullins on 25 of 45 passing. But still, I mean, the secondary really, really showed out. And if that whole defensive unit continues to play this way, yeah, like you said, the sky's the limit, and there's no telling what we can accomplish.
And I was just gonna say there that not to mention that this pretty much the whole second half was almost I want to call it garbage time, but it was just no huddle, that passing offense, and for them to limit them still to not even have, he didn't have 300 yards passing, to still be able to hold to, like we've always said, bend don't break. They were better than that, making those big plays, the pick 6 by Cameron Curl. I mean, they definite improvement, definite better team play, definite better communication on the field, because like I said, they're all over the place. We're not seeing those plays where we're seeing guys getting burnt deep, running around, with chickens with their heads cut off on defense. This defense looks like a solid unit right now, and it's a great thing to watch.
Absolutely. Now going over to the other side of the ball, we kind of already talked about the Dwayne Haskins, Alex Smith situation. But J.D. McKissick and Peyton Barber, they filled in great. I mean, J.D. McKissick running the ball. 11 carries for 68 yards, busted off a couple big ones, as long as a 17-yard run. Peyton Barber just pounding the rock over and over and over again. Beefcake Barber, as he's so affectionately known around here, because he just pounds the hole over and over again. But, Logan Thomas picks up where he left off. Only 6 catches, 43 yards, but still, I mean, he's just been an absolute dog for that offense. He's a safety blanket for that offense. Again, Terry McLaurin, only 2 catches. He probably could have had more, probably should have had more if Dwayne Haskins had, just a little bit more accuracy there. He had a play to him. I think everybody knows there was like a slant route. He missed him by probably about 7-8 yards. And if he puts that in McLaurin's arms, he's gone. I mean, yeah, so, just kind of things here and there that need to be cleaned up, hopefully between now and Sunday when the Seahawks come to town. But, I mean, all in all, obviously cannot be disappointed. Shout out Dustin Hopkins, misses the first field goal of the game. We knew it was too good to be true for him to keep banging those, but hey, guess what? He made the next 2, so we were all good. We were all good there. But, Yeah, I mean, like I said, I could not be more excited about continuing this ride. It's gonna be a tough one. You know, it's not gonna be easy this week with Seattle. I mean, we've seen Russell Wilson do it time and time again to this defense where it looks like he got him, and all of a sudden he's spinning out and, you know, either running the ball for 20, 25 yards or chucking the ball up in the air to one of his receivers, you know, for a big gain. And, you know, we got a couple tough ones to cover in Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf, but it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a frustrating game. I don't think it's going to be a walkover one way or the other, but it's going to be exciting, especially if they keep playing this way.
You know, and yeah, not to get too far into the preview for the Seahawks, but yeah, one game at a time. They got to continue to do what they got to do. And I think I saw a quote from Chase Young earlier today talking about, you know, Mamba mentality. You know, thinking about what would Kobe be doing after this win. You know, he'd be going right back to work because we ain't done nothing yet. And, you know, that's kind of the mentality they're taking. You know, I saw the post-game speech by Ron Rivera. I don't know if you saw it in the locker room, but how he just talked about, you know, we earned the right to be called the, you know, the first place team right now, but let's continue to, that's a privilege. Let's continue to act like it. You know what I mean? And carry ourselves that way. And what I liked the most about that as I was watching the speech is, you know, you have the guys hooting and hollering in the background as he's, you know, giving these speeches off. And I could hear guys saying, we ain't got nothing to lose. Or guys like, you know, the way they were talking, just the things they were saying, you can just tell they're so bought in, and that he had them at every word, and that they're just ready. They're still hungry. You know, they haven't got, they're not saying like we're the first place team. They're still hungry. They want to go out there and prove that they are a team that nobody wants to play. You know, nobody wants to play them. And that's the part that Ron Rivera said in the speech that they all harped up on. Nobody wants to play us, you know, and that's the mentality they have. And so if they continue that mentality, you know, they can only stop themselves. You know, they can only stop themselves because no one else is going to stop them. And it's been a good thing to see that these, you know, Chase Young, just evolution as a leader in his rookie year. You know, you kind of see the first couple of weeks, you could even say first half of the season, maybe he had good games. You know, he had very good games there, but they were quietly good games. You know, they weren't the Chase Young, you know, loud, you know, vocal leader screaming and, you know, harped up on the sidelines. Chase Young you're seeing now. And I think that's come with the confidence and his knowledge that he can dominate at this level. You know, you got to think about it. Anybody that's going on to the next level of anything, you're going to kind of walk. You got to be hesitant. Oh, I know I can do it with these guys, but can I do it with these guys? And I think for the first couple of weeks, he kind of put himself in that position. Now he knows that he can do it and do it effectively with these guys. And that with that ability, with that confidence, it's going to continue to push this team into, you know, as Kyle Brandt said this morning, I've said it now and I'll say it again, this Washington team will play a home football game, a home playoff football game.
I don't hate it, man. I love it. Like I said, bring me Minnesota, bring me Tampa Bay, bring me, I don't care, bring me whoever. And I think we have the best shot to beat them. But yeah, you're absolutely right about Chase. I mean, he's by far the biggest impact rookie that we've seen since Sean Taylor. You know, obviously throw RG3 in there with his run, but as far as what he brings is, like you said, the vocal leadership. That's why I said I was hesitant to say that this was his breakout game, because he's had such good games already this season. But you pair with, you know, what he was doing, the scoop and score, the pass deflections, the sacks, the strips, all that stuff, paired with the leadership that you can see that's visibly on you know, on the sidelines. I mean, he's ready for it. And, you know, he's ready to go out there and scrap for Dwayne Haskins, who's maybe hot dogging a little bit, not taking a knee. You know, if I'm a 49ers fan, I'm thinking, hey, Dwayne Haskins, you probably deserve that. You know, a little.
He's draining the clock. He was draining the clock didn't add up. If anyone that does that, any clock management pros out there knows that the clock didn't add up, and he had to take an extra 8 seconds if he could per snap. That's all he was doing, was taking as many seconds as he could before, because they blow the whistle the second your knee hits the ground. So he was just taking time off. So it was not flaunting. It was not. He doesn't even know how to. I saw people saying he doesn't even know how to take a knee right, and I'm like, who looks like the idiot right here, guys? Who looks like the idiot right here? If you know, you know. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm sorry for you.
yeah. But you know that's the, you know, again, one of the other things I like to see out of Chase Young is he's ready to go to battle for his guys, whether it's on the field, whether, you know, it's him playing defensive end, or whether it's him, you know, squaring up with some guys. I don't care. Speaking of squaring up,
he's a bitch ass. He's a bitch ass 51.
That was awesome. I know. I saw that real time, and I was cracking up. But speaking on going 1-1 against guys, I mean, I think we can chalk this one up to Chase Young versus Trent Williams. I think we're chalking this one up to Chase Young.
Oh yeah.
He got the best of him a couple times. You know, there wasn't really an answer. I mean, you can't write. There's not too many answers for a guy like him. But yeah, like I said, the leadership on the field and the sidelines, the gameplay that he does, the leadership just by his, like I said, just by doing it has been huge. So this was a great win, great thing to build off of. And I know everyone's beat up right now, so you can't, for anybody that wants to say, oh, San Francisco 49ers, if they were at full strength, guess what? They weren't. You can only play the team in front of you, and the better team won, I think. Like I said, good teams find a way to win. Was our offense the best it could have been? Absolutely not. Was the defense the best it could have been? Pretty close, probably. Not bad. Pretty darn close.
My fantasy teams say so with my Washington defense.
You give me a pick six, a scoop and score, 4 sacks. I mean, I'll take that.
And another fumble recovery.
Yeah, and another fumble recovery. Absolutely, yeah. 2 fumble recoveries, a pick six, a couple sacks. I'm trying to see how many pass deflections we had. 11 pass deflections. That's tough.
And 2 of the things we talked about, was the turnover battle, which we did win, and the time of possession on defense, which we did not win, obviously, because we were on the field so long. But hey, I guess we narrowed it down to the one that we really have to make sure, and that's the turnovers. And so we continue to create turnovers like that. That's like you're talking about 85 Bears. You're talking about 2,000 Ravens. You're talking about those dominant defenses that can win the games for you, the way that the Washington did yesterday. They basically won that. We did not have an offensive touchdown. It was all defensive touchdowns and field goals. And it was the first time that a team's done that on the road, I think, since we did that since 1992. So, it's nuts. That performance was something special yesterday.
It was. I love to see it. And like I said, it absolutely is way more exciting to watch them when they're on defense, because who knows what the hell's going to happen. It could be a pick six. It could be a scoop and score. It could be a strip sack. It could be 3 and out. Who knows? It could be a long drive where the team gets all the way down to the 3. And guess what? We stuff them at the goal line. There's so many options, and they're all positive for Washington. Mm-hmm. Whereas it used to be like, well, I don't want to watch this defense because I pretty much know what's going to happen. But I love watching this team play defense. Like I said, there's not a lot of teams out there in the NFL where their fans can say something like that. And I'm pretty excited that I can be one of them, that we can be one of them, for sure. Mm-hmm. But went 2-0, that under hit 38, and we obviously won outright. So the 3 points was not needed. But so I got to do a tally. I got to go back and listen up to a tally to see how those picks have done over the season. I don't think great because of the beginning of the season, but I'll tell you what, they're probably cooking now. Mm-hmm. But you got anything else before we wrap up, Joey?
Nothing. Just back to work, guys. Back to work. Like we said, we got a big game coming up this week. We're heading towards the end of the season. This team is, this continued. There comes a time, I work in a school. And I work with people that struggle at times, and then there comes a time when they turn on, and all I can really tell them is keep doing what you're doing, man. You have it right now, and that's what I'd like to tell this team right now is just keep doing what you're doing. You have the work ethic, you have the drive, you have the desire, you have the passion, you have the camaraderie, you have all that stuff going for you. Just keep doing that. Do not let off the brakes, and let's just keep going and getting victories.
I know that's right. Absolutely. Yeah, like you said, back to work. Us as fans, we can enjoy this victory for another 6 days. The team, they're definitely going back to work. Hopefully Alex Smith is back. You asked me 2 months ago if I would be saying hopefully Alex Smith is back for this next game. I probably would have said you're crazy, but here I am saying it.
Well, real quick too, I think a lot of those Haskin fans, all of those Haskin pushers, were like, they're like probably, ooh, wait a second here when they.
He still needs some more time.
Yeah, again, that casserole piece, as I said, yes, it needs to cook a little bit more. That section's still a little raw.
You gotta turn it in the oven, push it back a little bit to make sure it really gets the extra heat on it.
Exactly.
But before we jump off here, gotta say big congratulations to our Joey Silva, aka Mad Dad, who hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. That is huge. That's awesome. Did it in about a year? A little over a year?
About 18 months.
About 18 months. Okay, so still, that's great. Now we can start bringing in that bread, start monetizing that channel, right? After 1,000 subscribers, isn't that when you can start doing that a little bit?
And 4,000 hours watched, which I'm almost to as well. So there's 2 parts to that.
All right, so this is what you guys need to do after you're done listening to this show. Go over to his Mad Dad YouTube. pick a video and just let it ride. Just roll
let
it.
it ride.
Just
I'll
go put,
repeat.
just let them all the videos just play over and over and over again so we get him to those 4,000 hours. So then he can really start making that bread. And then you know what? Then make sure you come back over here and subscribe so we can get those 1,000 subscribers as well.
Exactly.
But
bring 980 of your friends or something like that.
Your closest 980 friends, call them over, make sure they subscribe, and we'll be set up over on this side as well. One other thing was pretty cool. Obviously, we all know that Joey is a big Madden streamer. I was taking this year off. I bought Madden last year. I usually alternate between Madden and Call of Duty. Not a huge gamer, but I'll buy Madden one year, take it off the next year, and buy Call of Duty just because I don't play a whole lot. Well, this year, I was fortunate to receive Madden from none other than the Washington Football Twitter profile, whatever, Twitter account. They had a little retweets for an Xbox code. Hit that retweet. All of a sudden, 30 seconds later, I got a little Madden code in the inbox. So that was on Friday night. Started off the weekend great. They wrapped it up with a nice little victory on Sunday. I gotta tell you, I'm flying high right now when it comes to this Washington football team. Could not be better. Victory trombones all the way around.
All
baby.
dubs, all dubs, all dubs, baby.
Yep.
West Side.
Yep. So it's been a wild ride like these last 4 weeks. We can only hope we finish strong. Sole possession of first place. After the Giants slip up to the Cardinals, and you know what? It's tough. But also to make it a little bit tougher, Philadelphia and the Cowboys, they win. So they're not completely out of it just yet. We'll see what Jalen Hurts can continue to bring to the table. Unfortunately for the Cowboys,
one more Washington victory puts Cowboys out of it.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, unfortunately for them, they can't play the Bengals every week, so that's gonna be tough sledding for them. But yeah, we take care of business this week. That puts the Cowboys to bed, puts their season to rest, which some might say that's been gone for quite some time. But yeah, I mean, we can only focus on who's in front of us. Like I said, we'll let the rest play it out for themselves, but we control our destiny. Only we can, handle what happens. And I feel pretty good about it. I feel pretty damn good. Can't remember the last time I said that.
I mean, and just think about what our ultimate goals are. We've talked about the 3-step process. Be the Cowboys, win the division. Go to the playoffs. Win the Super Bowl, I should say. But now look at a very basic level. We want to be involved late in the season. We want to play meaningful football in December, and that's what we have right now. So we gotta have, as fans, it's a great time to be a fan. As a team, it's a great time to be a team, and let's go out there and get it, guys. Continue this.
Absolutely, 1,000%. We just got to keep riding, keep staying strong too. If we slip up against the Seahawks this week, who cares? That's a good football team. Guess what? We can still keep it rolling. We can still keep cooking, and not miss a beat. So don't fall back into the trick of being old Redskins fans. We got to remember, we're Washington football team fans now.
Okay. Real quick then, before we get out of here, I know we keep delaying this, but do we want 70% Alex Smith or 100% Dwayne Haskins for?
Oh, 70% Alex Smith.
Okay, just making sure.
Because I can at least trust him to make those short throws. I don't know if I can trust Dwayne Haskins to make those short throws. Yeah, I'll take 70%. I'll take one leg Alex Smith for over 2 leg Dwayne Haskins. So, but yeah, no, like I said, stay strong. Make sure if we slip up, we'll talk about it on next Monday. But I'm not foreseeing that. I'm not forecasting that. I see us ringing that victory trombone for the 5th time in 5 times in 5 weeks. Love to see it. But until our preview show on Friday, make sure you're subscribed here. Ring that notification bell. If you're on Apple iTunes, like, rate, subscribe, review there. We're trying to get on some of our other platforms, Spotify. We're on SoundCloud too. I always forget to mention that. We are on SoundCloud at Allies Behind Enemy Lines. You can check us out there, but we're trying to get on Spotify and Google Podcasts. We've had some requests for that, so we're working on it. Don't worry. But right now, just YouTube and Apple and SoundCloud. SoundCloud, you can listen to us anywhere. So go ahead and download that app and give us some play there. We'd love to see it there. That's kind of where we started out till we made it big time here on YouTube and Apple. But until then, Joey, if you have no more parting words, we will see everybody on Friday. Take care. Thanks for listening. Enjoy this victory week. And we will see y'all then. Take care.